Let's take a look at the process of creating box plots on a TI84 or TI83 graphing calculator. First, we want to enter the data into the lists, and we can get to the list by going to Stat and then choosing the Edit menu. And we can see here that I entered the data sets already into the list. The Boston Red Sox number of home runs is in list 1, and the Minnesota Twins number of home runs is in list 2. And these are for the 2014 season, and I only included players that had at least 80 times at bat. Now, to create a box plot, I want to go to the Stat Plot menu. It's the command above the y equals key, so I'm going to choose second, and then hit the y equals key to activate the Stat Plot command and go to the Stat Plot menu. There are 3 plots that we can choose from, so I'm going to hit enter to choose plot 1, and then turn it on. And I'm going to hit the down arrow to select the type of graph that we're going to make, and I want to make a box plot. So I'm going to use the right arrow to go through the options. There are 2 types of box plots. One type will include outliers, will kind of show us if there's an outlier, and the other type won't. So let's include the version that does show outliers, just to be able to see those, and hit enter. A box plot is a graph that's built from a single data set, so we just need to choose the data set that we want to use, and let's use list 1. And then we can also choose the type of mark that will be used to identify the outliers. And so we can just use the one that's chosen for us there, the little box. So I'm going to hit second and then quit to move out of that menu, go to zoom, and then down to option 9 to choose zoom stat to set up the window. So the choice for the window is kind of generated automatically to show the values. If I hit trace, it will show me the different values of the 5-number summary, which are used to build a box plot. The minimum value, and then using the right arrow I can see the first quartile, the median, the third quartile, and then this is the last data value before the upper fence. We can see that there were 2 outliers in the data set that fell beyond the upper fence. So they would be considered maybe extreme values, kind of atypical of the data set. And we can see that 35 is certainly much bigger than all the other values. 17 was also included as an outlier. It's nice to construct side-by-side box plots if we want to look at similar data sets like we have here. So if I go down to plot 2 and choose that and turn it on and choose the similar type of graph, but now the data for the Minnesota Twins was in list 2. So I select list 2, and then to make sure that everything gets kind of chosen and set up correctly, let me go back to zoom and choose option 9. And I can do that just by hitting the number 9. And it'll make some adjustments if it would have to make adjustments. And we can see the second plot. So we can look at the graphical representation of the 5-number summary. We can look at those box plots for both of the data sets side by side, and so it can help us kind of make comparisons and see different things. For example, we obviously the median for the Minnesota Twins is above the median for the Boston Red Sox, but then the maximum, this outlier is much higher than the maximum value for the Minnesota Twins. But in general, kind of that middle 50% is spread out. In particular, the third quartile above the median, between the median and the third quartile, that part of the data is definitely shifted a bit higher than it is for the Red Sox. Let me just point to one other thing. So this includes the axes. If you go up to Format, which is above Zoom, so if I choose second and then go to Format, I could remove those axes. I could turn the axes off. And then if we go back to the graph, it's maybe a little bit easier to just see the box plots. And then, of course, going to trace, I can use the down arrow to go to the other box plot and look at the quartiles and the median and the outlier. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.